everyone, welcome back to the Shantae Nicole podcast. And yes, this is a serious, messy video. I've never done a video like this before, but I just feel like it's important to bring awareness to the situation and also help people recognize suspicious or unusual behavior. So, what am I talking about, people? I'm talking about human trafficking, aka sex trafficking, right? The reason why I'm having this conversation with you because this started and became extremely aggressive 2018 to the point where I had to do an emergency move. Not only did they give me a good referral, but they were nice enough to even give me my deposit back. And I had already lived in that particular neighborhood for 4 years, right? When I hear the sex trafficking stories, and I'm grateful for the people who shed light on it and volunteer information, you always hear like people putting something on your windshield, people, getting snatched in the parking lot, people having like a magnet on their cell phone and they're like, find my iPhone. You always hear these stories, but my situation is a little different because it is October of 2025, and unfortunately this became very serious for me August of 2018. And it started off with a coworker. Well, initially it started off with my next door neighbor. And so, you know how you hear those videos, like you don't really know who these people are that you work with or who your neighbors are. That is true. Because my next door neighbor, I don't even think the apartment was in his name. He said it was like in his sister's name, but he lived there, but the sister was never there. And he dressed young, like he dressed like with a lot of hoodies and sweats, but he was like in his 60s. Like it just, and he always gave me like a really eerie vibe. And he looked white, but he was foreign. And he never left the house. He never had a social life. He never had company. Like he was just really socially awkward. And I lived in that neighborhood for like 4 years. But the last 2 years, when a previous coworker of mine somehow got involved, because you never know who's who, that's when the last 2 years of me living in that particular neighborhood, that's when the sex trafficking started. And so the coworker worked in a different department, and I actually was introduced to this person through like a mutual friend, 6 degrees separation. And this person was like really weird. Like they couldn't hold conversations. They would always try to like walk behind me, or I'm sitting at my desk doing my work and they always want to stand behind me. And when I turn around, they position themselves to always be behind. Like they were just really weird and creepy. Socially awkward. Like on a scale from 1 to 10 and 5 being average, a 10. And so this person would, act like, oh, they get girls and this and that. But the math wasn't mathing, because you can look at people and tell who you're dealing with. And I knew something was off. You telling me something, but you showing me something different. And my intuition is never wrong. So when the stalking from the sex trafficking started and it became aggressive, it was new for me. So sometimes I would come to work and I would talk about these different experiences. And one of the things they said to me they said, was he on the phone with somebody? And it was like, wow. And they would also say other things that only someone with inside information would know. And when I talk about being aggressive and led to an emergency move with me being able to get my security deposit back from a place that I had already lived for 4 years, with the same management company. Like, that's how crazy this was. I have been chased around my car. I've like parked in front of my front door, and then some random guy has bagged in next to me. So his driver door and my driver door are facing, and in hopes that he could like try to snatch me. I've had random people already in my neighborhood and try to stop me and ask me for directions. But everybody has a cell phone. You could Google that information. You don't need to have a random conversation with me. It got so aggressive that I actually had a bodyguard. I know, that's crazy. Like, when I look back, I'm like, oh my goodness. Yes, a bodyguard. Yes. I'm the only child. So, I was in my feelings because I enjoy spending time with myself. And it was bad. I couldn't go or do anything by myself. I couldn't go to the grocery store by myself. I couldn't go to the movies by myself. I couldn't go out to eat by like, every single place I went, whether it was big or small, I had to have security. Like, it was next level. It got to the point where my screen door mysteriously got broken. And this is a suburb outside of New Albany. And I know we've all heard of all the stuff that's going on in New Albany involving like human trafficking, sex trafficking, things of that nature. At the time, I had worked seasonal at the Limited when all of this was going on. And it was so aggressive that when I would get off of work, coworkers were nice enough to follow me home to make sure I got in the house safe. I, did several police reports and things of that nature. But you know how it is. The police always come late. And they would get there fast. This is the suburbs, but the incident would have already taken place. And back to the creepy coworker, when this started August of 2018, it was a night that, I hung out with the girls. And we had went to like an early show, like it was an early event. And because I think it was like a work night or something. And at the time, I wasn't an empty nester yet. I'm an empty nester now. So my son's dad at that particular time was still incarcerated. So I wasn't staying out late. It's like I had a curfew. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't call it that, but it was what it was. So we went to like an early show. And on the main street that I have to take to get to my neighborhood, there was this random car that was just sitting to the side. And when I pulled into my neighborhood, they pulled in after me. And my instinct was automatically like, okay, this is not normal. Like, when you live in a place for a few years, you are familiar with your neighbors. Even if you don't have a lot of interaction with them, you still have an idea of their routine or how they're moving. So, there was just a lot of suspicious behavior. And I wanted to make this video, and I want to bring awareness to this because some of the things you can look out for is like, I've been noticing a lot of these sex traffickers, they have like wrecked cars. It's like, it looks as if the car is totaled. I can't imagine that this particular state or city would give a savage title for a car that looks that horrible. I'm talking about the front bumpers are missing a lot of times. It just looks horrible. It doesn't even look drivable, but somehow they've got this car on the road. They're always dented and like wrecked. And this is a suburb that's outside of New Albany. Like I can see New Albany from where I'm at. And these cars are like newer cars or in the 2000s. Like all of these cars are nice, you know. And so when you see a wrecked car, it's out of place. It's like red flags. And then it's like always like the behavior is weird. Like I tried to go to the movies. Some random guy comes into the movie theater by himself. Okay, the red flag is that he sits all the way at the top and in the corner by himself. Then something said, change my seat. I changed my seat. Then all of a sudden he gets on the phone and he's talking to somebody. But if you have friends to talk on the phone to, but you're here at the movie theater and it was a really early time, like I shouldn't even been at the movies this early. So that was a red flag. If you have that many friends that you can talk on the phone to, why you didn't invite them to the movies with you? Then he notices that I notice him. So then he leaves out of the movie theater. I wait a couple of seconds and then I decide, you know what? I'm not going to watch this movie. So then I leave. But why did our paths cross? You telling me something without telling me something. See, if he had left to go to the bathroom, I should not have saw him because I waited seconds to leave. Then, if he had went to go get something to eat, he should not have walked past me. He should have already been down at the concession stand buying snacks, getting food. So that lets me know that he was watching me. That's a red flag. Now, I'm volunteering information because I want you to be aware of your surroundings. I want you to know that when somebody starts acting different or moving funny, listen to your instinct. And this is why I always recommend having a sober mind. You know, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. It's a laundry list of things I don't do. And sometimes you can't just ignore certain behaviors. Sometimes it is exactly what you think it is. And when you share information with someone, maybe they disagree, but God didn't tell them, God told you. And I'm telling you that sex trafficking is real. Human trafficking is real. And be alert and be aware of your surroundings. God bless you. Jesus Christ loves you. I hope and pray that this message was a blessing to you. God bless you. Bye-bye.